Imagine you are a polar bear. On day 1 I spawned in as an adorable baby polar bear. I only have 10 hearts, so I have to be careful. Lucky for me though, polar bears are naturally fast runners. Look how fast I am. While running I found a nearby snow village. The villagers were scared of me, so they ran away to hide. I was hungry, so I took some of their food. The food was gross, but better than nothing. I then found some string in one of the villagers' houses. Using the string I crafted a fishing pole. It was time to catch some food. I tried to fish myself, but I couldn't really get the hang of it. Luckily, my mom was a master at it. After a long day of catching fish, my family and I decided to head home. On the way though, we were attacked by bloodthirsty wolves. Mom, I'll help you with my help. My mom and I took them down. I think I might have a knack for fighting. Mom, I'm a natural-born warrior. I survived one. Don't get too ahead of yourself, Michael. There are much stronger monsters out there than wolves. At the end of the day I snuggled up and went to sleep. Curious what monsters my mom was talking about. Was it another warrior polar bear or some other beast entirely? Slow down, Michael. The world outside our home is unforgiving, even with strength like ours. My mom was right, but luckily we will always have each other side by side. As a family you need to leave home. Well, my mom explained that polar bears are solitary creatures, so I need to figure out this world for myself. Okay mom, I understand. I promise I'll come back when I'm big and strong. I left my family ready to tackle the world and defeat the monsters that inhabit it. I found a nearby forest where I collected wood for some basic tools. Once I'm situated, my plan is to make a polar bear base. Then I ventured out of the snow to find some sheep for a bed. Sweet, I found some big polar bear moving through. Okay sheep, I'm gonna kill you. After slaying the sheep I returned back to the snow while I gathered materials. I couldn't shake the feeling that someone or something was watching me. Is someone there? Must be the wind. Let's go with that. Little did I... A snow leopard was watching my every move. It was getting dark outside, so my base was gonna have to wait. I saw shelter in a nearby cave. It was cold. I wish I had someone to talk to while I was trying to sleep. I heard some rustling outside. What's that? It was a giant monster. I decided to hide. I definitely wasn't strong enough to face it. The giant monster eventually walked away. So I decided to get some sleep. I'm definitely gonna visit my family soon though. It's now day 3 and I'm ready to start my polar bear base. I went back to the forest to get some materials. I first gathered more wooden saplings. Then I mined some stone, fully upgrading my tools. That's gonna speed me up quite a bit. I would also need some food, so I traveled to a nearby biome for some chickens and pigs. My name is Michael. Do you want to come live with me? Come on piggies, follow me. On my way back to the cave, I ran into another polar bear. Hey, I'm Steve. Saw you from a distance and thought I'd say hello. Nice to meet you. I'm Michael. What brings you so far away from a snow biome? I recently left home, so I'm just trying to make it on my own. It was nice meeting you. If you ever find yourself in my neck of the woods, you'll have a place to crash for the night. We made it back to my base, where I began carving out the interior. I then made the piggies a pen. After that I made Steve, or really any guest, a room. This is already kind of a room. Perfect, I think he would really like this. That night, while checking on my animals, monsters swarmed my base. Hey, I didn't invite you guys over. I was outnumbered, but my polar bear strength helped me fight them one by one. Polar bear headbutt. I killed the last monster. I didn't want any more unexpected party guests, so I covered the area of my base with torches. Okay, this ought to stop any more monsters from coming our way. After all the fighting, I was exhausted, so I decided to call it a night. Little did I know tomorrow was gonna be the worst day I've ever had. On day 4, I was really excited. Today was the day I visit my family. As I got closer to my home, I saw a familiar face. It was Steve. Hey Steve. It's me, Michael. You need to run now. A huge beast has been spotted in this area. They're destroying everything in their sight. Where my family lives, I ran as fast as I could. Surely the beast hasn't hurt anyone right now.
before me, puny mammals!
Before me, the big guy, stop destroying my home or I'll make...
Oh, look at that. A baby bear who thinks he's a warrior. Get lost. You're just a weak little animal who doesn't know true strength.
I'll show you true strength.
Or I'll make...
Oh, look at that. A baby bear who thinks he's a warrior. Get lost. You're just a weak little animal who doesn't know true strength.
I'll show you true strength.
I'll show you true strength. I'll show you. The beast approached my mom. He swung his massive fist, killing her instantly. Mom.
Goodbye, warrior combat.
Before I could swing at him, the beast picked me up and launched me into the air. I landed back at the forest badly injured. I spent the rest of the day wandering with the same question floating around my brain. Why did the beast do this? Does he really have an army? I decided right then, no matter what it takes, I will get stronger and defeat the beast. On days 4 through 7, I was visited by a snow leopard. Oh, get over here. Hello, can I help you, sir?
Lay down your arms. The beast
Said I don't even know what that means. Out of nowhere, the snow leopard started attacking me. Yeah, take this. It was a difficult fight, but my superior polar bear strength helped me overcome the big cat. Yeah, I did it as I was brushing myself off from the fight. I heard a familiar noise in the distance. Wolves, they're attacking that sweet little Arctic fox. I punched the wolf as hard as I could, killing it instantly. So little guy, why are you out here all alone? I'm sorry to hear that. The fox explained that a huge beast had come through its home demanding the destruction of his friends and his families. The same thing happened to me and my family. I would help if I could, but my mission is to destroy that same beast. Can't be wasting my time talking. I left the fox, but it began to follow me from a distance. I continued on my way home, occasionally stopping to attack some animals. The fox continued to follow me, picking up any scraps I didn't grab. Hey buddy, you're really hungry. Normally I'd be eating this fox right now, but he's already been through so much. How about you come live with me at my base? Awesome. If so, you're gonna need a name. How about Steve? After that, Steve and I went on our way. On the way home, we found a cave and decided to mine for a little bit. While digging, we found some iron. We made it back to the base. I gave Steve a quick tour, then upgraded my iron tools. I also made my new fox friend a sword just in case he ever needs to defend himself. I then made a small room for my new buddy Steve. On days 8 through 9, with Steve by my side, I decided to explore beyond the snow biomes. Eventually, you are greeted by your two best friends, Victor and Bobo. The two of them have been inseparable since they were children, and their love for each other has only grown stronger over time. They both live in same apartment in forest. We collected a lot of different materials, which will help out a ton once we start building the home. I can't wait to see what my fox has planned for us next. I'm glad. It would be nice if he were around more often though. I decided to make a shear to collect their wool too. The bear began to attack us. It was a large brown bear, standing over 7 feet tall at its shoulders. Its fur was thick and matted, and its claws looked like they could rip you apart in mere seconds. The bear growled menacingly and swung its massive arms forward. I decided to make a shear to collect their wool too. The bear began to attack us. It was a large brown bear, standing over 7 feet tall at its shoulders. Its fur was thick and matted, and its claws looked like they could rip you apart in mere seconds. The bear growled menacingly and swung its massive arms forward. I used some of my wheat to take the sheep back to our base. We found more iron. If we were gonna fight the beast, we would need a good night's rest. We're not going to sleep until this is all over. The rest of your party nods in agreement. All right, let's get back out into that storm and see what we can find. I found some more iron and made for it's a helmet. You'll need it for the fight. When you have finished making your armor, you notice the others are starting to look quite tired. Decided to get some sleep. Tomorrow was gonna be a big one. We had to keep our heads on a swivel after slaying what felt like hundreds of mobs. You take the helm and go forth into the maze-like halls of the dungeon. The others follow close behind you, casting spells and making their way through the twisting passageways. A large chest is sitting in the middle of the room. Its lid is open, revealing several items inside. There is some kind of metal plate, a strange-looking arrow, and a small leather pouch. There was a big problem. You hear a noise coming from above. It sounds like a giant bird is flapping its wings outside. They were waiting to attack once you crossed the threshold. Their fearsome jaws are wide open, and their claws are ready to tear you apart. There is no time to talk or strategize. The monsters are strong, but they aren't nearly as quick as the demons you fought earlier in the dungeon. Behind them were chests full of the best loot. Diamonds, gold, and a glittering pair of golden boots lie scattered around the room. This is a map of this part of the catacombs. You are standing in the center of the map, marked with a small red dot. I collected some more sheep for the farm. A giant polar bear statue. A large, white, life-sized statue stands motionless near the entrance to the room. Its leg is painted with a dark red paint. Next, you move around to the bear's head. You dig deeper into the bear's skull until you reach the brain. With a single swipe, you paint the bear's head. You turn to your companions and point to the giant bear's massive hind legs. You look around the room for inspiration. Then you realize that the solution might be staring you right in the face. You build the head of the polar bear. You take the remaining leg and begin to push it along the ground, dragging the rest of the statue toward the opening. I make some materials. The panda from earlier helped us to build the base. Construction begins quickly and efficiently. In no time, the wall is complete. Now comes the work of sanding down the rough stone. The animals of this world all cower and fear to the monster. It wouldn't be very much of one without at least a few beds. The first thing that needs to be done, though, is to build some more tables. There's plenty of space in the house, but there aren't enough places to put things. Fox noticed that there isn't enough furniture in the house for everyone to have a place to sit. The panda suggests turning the west room into a study, and the whole group seems pleased by the idea. The bear moves some of the furniture from the dining room into the study. I packed up to leave the base. I was going to follow the map from the dungeon. The fox tells me be careful, nods reassuringly, and takes a few steps toward the river. I was going to follow the map from the dungeon. I left the base following the map as closely as I could. The drawing indicates that there is a hidden door behind a large stone slab in the middle of the room. There is no indication as to what lies beyond the door, but it might prove useful if you find yourself trapped again.
I am a panda who knows Kung Fu.
I am a panda who knows Kung Fu. Kung Fu Panda trained me. You are a tiny bear who can jump great distances. You are capable of using your hands, feet or tail to fight. However, you prefer to use your teeth as they are most effective against most opponents. One day at the end of training we fought like always, but this time you was able to defeat the master. You have defeated the master. Congratulations. I know you hate me, but I'm doing this for the good of us all. Your training is complete. The Kung Fu Panda told me to be careful on my journey. The Kung Fu Panda trains me how to fight with tigers. Also, I need some weapons. Tiger appears suddenly in front of you. He looks down at you with his yellow eyes and snarls. Tiger seems ready to strike. His mouth is open wide, and drool is dripping from the bottom of his jaw. He holds a large knife in his right paw and a wooden club in his left. I plunge my dagger into the tiger's chest. It lets out a surprised cry and falls dead. You take a quick glance around for the other tigers, but they seem too ready to fight with you. I got home, sheared a lot of wool. I decided to work on more of the polar bear statue. It's crazy that your channel grew fast. I've already spent enough time down here. I put away the tools, pick up your shovel. I spend the next hour building 4 sturdy legs for the statue. Using your hammer and chisel to create the wooden blocks for the legs. While I am working, I notice a familiar figure standing off to the side of the room, watching me. I need to be careful, other animals will attack me. I thank the Spider-Man for telling you about the traps. And tell him to wait here until you've finished fixing the statue. He agrees, and watches over the entrance while you work. When you finish the legs, you look at the torso. I grab your hammer and start chipping away at the block. I chip away at the block slowly, carefully removing pieces from the middle before adding new ones to fill the gaps. The process takes a long time, but eventually I manage to remove all the pieces of wood and replace them with new ones. I finished 4 legs. So far I then crafted the recipe Master Gray gave me. It was iron and gold quartz snowballs.